you prepare the curriculum overview? I'd like to know the resources used to the UOI.
Unit of inquiry. Yeah, I answered that question
PENELOPE
before.
करके PAREJA करके
Okay.
I answered that one before, and I said that, yeah, I prepared the curriculum overview. We do it as a whole school. I prepare my curriculum with my co-teacher, and the resources, as I said, you know, most of them are my own resources. And you have to create them depending on your students. That one was answered before.
Okay, we have another question for
I know.
Doug. He said, you mentioned that you plan backwards. Does that mean you begin by designing the summative and formative assessments based on the Spanish curriculum standards and then plan the necessary learning experiences? Do you then drive your lines of inquiry approaches to learning and learner profile attributes from this process?
Yeah, that's very PYP teacher question. I know you're a PYP teacher now. Yeah, you nailed it. That's it. I designed the summative assessment, though you know that we don't have summative assessments anymore. So I call it a celebration of learning, a final presentation, a final product. And yeah, I basically designed the summative assessment. I base it on the Spanish curriculum standards, but I also base it on the approaches to learning, learner profile, attributes, key concepts, and all the things I want to take into account, the ATLs, everything. So I do that, and then I try to find the formative assessments along the way, and I design or I try to formulate the lines of inquiry, the central idea, and everything else. And also try to do central idea and lines of inquiry for the PYP planner, but also try to translate them to my children's language.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have Tasmin. She has a question, then Zafar.
Thank you. How many provocative questions would you recommend?
How many? Sorry, what?
Provocations would you recommend?
I would recommend a big one at the beginning, and when I say big, it's not that you have to prepare like a big thing, but I recommend a really striking one at the beginning, just to make them curious about what's going on. Like, for example, in my case, it was like a PowerPoint with pictures of different types of shelters, growing from a caravan to one of those Australian cave houses they have, you know, under the ground. I mean, really different pictures. That was my big provocation at the beginning. And then you can have little ones if you think they are either a bit lost or they are diverting from where you want them to be. Because we know little ones, or if they are young, if they are inexperienced, they can just, you know, divert from the road, let's say. So I won't recommend a lot, but the ones you need so your students are where you want them to be.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Zafar, you're raising your hand.
Yeah, can you hear me, please?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Okay. As we already discussed that we have to adopt the approach of designing it backward. My question is, you know, we might have some questions from the students that are evolving. We might see their evolving questions and interests. While designing this unit backwards, do we have enough flexibility to adapt the structure? Because it might require us to adapt the structure or reform it in order to accommodate those questions and interests.
You have lots of flexibility. Designing backwards gives you that flexibility, as long as they don't divert a lot from the, you know, from the final objective of the unit. I mean, they don't divert a lot for the academic contents and the abilities you want them to acquire. But for example, if you see that your class is amazing and they have an amazing knowledge of shelters, of types of houses, obviously you can skip steps and you can go further into landscapes, or you can go further into materials to build those shelters. So I think it gives you the flexibility you need. That's precisely the beauty of it, I think.
Great, thank you very much.
Okay, we have Aisha or Asha. Yes, Asha, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to know, if we take the topic identity, so it falls under both the themes, who we are and also how we express ourselves. So how are we going to plan backward for that kind of topic?
I didn't get the topic, I'm sorry.
Identity. My identity is going to be the topic.
My identity, but you are saying that it's for two transdisciplinary things.
So if we can take the topic, it may be we can use that for who we are also, and it can be there in how we express ourselves also. So how
But
do
I
we?
think no, I wouldn't share the same topic for two transdisciplinary themes. I think from my point of view, my identity would be okay for who we are. I won't use the same topic for two transdisciplinary themes.
Yeah, but when we talk about how we express ourselves, also like there also comes the identity through our language, through our customs, culture. So
That
how
would be
do we plan backward in that case?
for how we express ourselves.
Yeah.
You have to design a final learning experience that will help students demonstrate that idea, that they can express themselves through their identity. You will need a final product for that. You will have to think about a learning experience that lets them do that. Basically, the final product is a demonstration that they understand the central idea, that they understand my identity, or I can express myself through my identity.
Thank you.
You're welcome. As I said, it requires lots of imagination for designing a final product that matches everything that you have inside.
Okay, one small question from Frank, Penelope, and then we can proceed.
Okay.
Thank you, Penelope. I would like to know, for my unit of inquiry, if I have, for example, 3 lines of inquiry, do I study 1 line of inquiry per week? Then the next week I move to the next one with my students, and the last one the last week. So since you said we have 6 weeks, that means should I take one line of inquiry every 2 weeks, or how do you go about that?
Okay, as I said at the beginning, well, I didn't say it, okay, but when you become a PYP teacher at the beginning, you have to do what's better for you as a teacher, what makes you be more comfortable. So your students will feel safe because they will see that you know what you are doing. So IB recommends, well, recommended, not anymore, but recommended to use 2 weeks for each line of inquiry. But from my point of view, I've never done that, not even when I was starting, because I thought it was too structured for my taste. So what I do is that I present the 3 lines at the same time and I whip them together. So I do the 3 lines of inquiry at the same time. And my units of inquiry have 5 weeks because the 6th week, I use it for reflection and for making students telling me what they have learned and how they have learned it. So we do a reflection week. But if you're starting and you think you need the structure, you can do 1 line of inquiry every 2 weeks.
That's great. I got it.
Thank you, Penelope. I think we can proceed.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, everybody. You're very engaged. Okay. This is more or less how the unit started. You can see a little visible thinking routine. Think, puzzle, explore. After our provocation, that made them reflect, that made them, think. Oops. Oopsie. Sorry, I always do that. Okay, here. I'm just not going to stop the video.